Number 2, reading aloud your daily text.
澳洲，极端的大地。澳洲国土有多元的地理形态，从群山、沙漠到热带森林皆有。原住民在4万年前来到澳洲，他们有独特的文化、信仰以及传统。他们与大地和睦相处，并且居住在极端的环境中。
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the second part of our class. It's reading time. We have a new article. It's called Australia, a Land of Extremes. I'll read it aloud, and you can listen. But then it will be your turn to not only read it, but read it aloud. Now, here we go. Australia is a land of rugged mountain ranges and a land of sweeping plains. Within the landmass of Australia, you can find a sample of virtually every climate and habitat known to man. From the snowy mountains of southeastern Australia to the tropical rainforests of the north to the rugged desert of the interior that covers the majority of the continent, there is something for everyone in Australia. In Australia, we have an indigenous people who are known as the Australian Aboriginals. They are the original inhabitants of the land before Europeans settled in Australia. They are one of the oldest living civilizations in the world, and the first Aboriginals are thought to have come to Australia up to 40,000 years ago. Therefore, they have a long and unique history. Among their traditions is one called walkabout, where they will just go off into the wild and wander for days. Aboriginals had no form of writing, and they record their stories and traditions on caves or rocks. In many places in northern Australia, you can find these amazing pictures, some of which are tens of thousands of years old. Aboriginal tribes had elders who were the leaders of the tribe, and they made and enforced the laws by which the members of the tribe lived. As they had no form of writing, they would pass on all their traditions to the next generation orally. Aboriginals believed that the earth and all things in it were created by spirits that lived in the natural landmarks like mountains and rivers that surrounded them. These stories are called the dream time and were used by the Aboriginals to explain the creation of the environment around them. The Aboriginals were a very diverse people, and it is thought that at the time of the white settlement of Australia, there were as many as 500 different tribes that had their own languages and culture. Aboriginals were masters of living off the land and could survive in the harshest of environments in the desert of Australia, where you or I would perish. Now that's it for the story. It's talking about Australia. First, it tells how Australia has every type of environment and climate. It's an amazing place. But also the people, the original people living there, the Australian Aboriginals, are quite amazing. And their history, their culture, and their traditions are very interesting. And it tells about how they would have their stories and their cultures taught passed on from one generation to the next, not by writing, but by talking. They also had, they believed in spirits that lived in natural landmarks, such as mountains or rivers or even trees. And they talked about how these spirits created the earth and how they all were there because of them. There was many Aboriginal tribes, over 500. I don't think so right now. Since the Europeans went there, I think they've been dramatically reduced. But nonetheless, Aboriginals in Australia have a great history and tradition. And if you have the chance, please go and visit there and check out these amazing people. Now that's it for our reading. Your turn to do your reading. Read this article aloud, and you will not only practice your reading, but your speaking and your pronunciation. That's it for this part of the class. Let's go on to the next.